Today we are going to build a fairly simple vehicle using one of the prefab vehicles, and this vehicle is going to be able to fly, it's going to be able to go on the water, and it will be able to drive on land. It's pretty durable. You can drive straight through trees and things like that at speed. And it holds about 8 chests, so it'll also be able to get on top of those ice cliffs that you see in the frost biome as well. So let's get started. So what we're going to do to start with is just build a hauler. Okay, so this is going to be the vehicle that we start with, and we're going to now start destroying everything on top here, and it's just going to give us a bit of a blank canvas to work with. So take out all the seats, all the cabin, and we're going to get rid of these rails as well. Okay, so your hauler should look like this. So nothing on top, as you can see, and then what we're going to do from here is just dress it up a bit. This is kind of optional, but I like to just sort of give my vehicles a bit of a modern look. So I sort of start with that piece right up the front there. You can see it sort of hangs over those little round bits, and I'll put 4 of those in, and then I'm going to go up a size, and I'm going to put 3 of those in, and then I'm going to go to the longest one. Now I'm using the beachy thin floors. You can use whatever floors you like, or you can just skip this step altogether. Okay, so we should get the whole tray of this thing completely covered. Now what we're going to do is put some rails on it. So vehicle railings, and we want about 4 on each side. Again, these are optional. I just put them on there because this gives the vehicle a nicer look to it. And then I also just put one on the front, just sort of like that. Again, optional, but I like to do it. I put a large driver's seat on about here, so you can sort of see the back is kind of in line with where the first little square ends. Okay. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to start putting thrusters on this thing. So we want large thrusters. And we're going to go to the back, and underneath here we're going to put the first one down. The next one is going to go just alongside it, and then on the opposite side we do the same thing. Now I find it easier to just put that one in place and nudge it over one. And then what I do is I set each of these to channel 1. Now you can use whatever channel you like, but I use channel 1 for thrusting forwards. And then we're going to put some thrusters on the side because we want this thing to turn. So if we just snap to the side here, we can sort of just nudge it over just to about here. So you kind of half a square in, and then put 2 of them on. So you can sort of see right before that corner there, we start the 2 thrusters. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. And then up the front, we're going to put 2 thrusters on here. Just like that, just behind where those wooden pieces are. And the same with this side. Oops, wrong place. Try that up. Try that again. Okay, so we're going to put 1 there, 1 there. Now I like to use channel 2 when I'm turning right. So I'm setting mine to channel 2, but again, whatever preference you have for turning right, set it to that. Okay, now we need to put some thrusters underneath it. So I'm going to build this as if I'm not using fly mode, just because I know some people don't want to use fly mode in their worlds. Fly mode makes it a little bit easier because you can just send this thing into the air and put the thrusters on last. But we're going to build it like this. So what we're going to do is just put balloons all the way along the back. And you can see it lifts up like that. Okay, and that'll just get the whole vehicle off the ground for us. Now what we're going to do is, if you go up towards the front of the vehicle, to the very front axle here, you'll see underneath there's these two grey bits. So, oopsie, that one's a bit out of place. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a thruster on the bottom of each of those, as you can see there. And then those thrusters we're going to set to channel 1, or whatever you prefer to use when going forward. And then in this gap at the back, we're going to get the small thruster again. And we're going to put one right in the center. And then from there, we're going to put, a little bit tricky, just try to snap it into place. We're going to put one there and there. So we should have 5 thrusters in a row like that across the center. And then all of these thrusters we're going to set to channel 1 as well. Okay, now you'll find that it's a bit hard to jump up onto these stairs when it's up in the air, so what we'll do is we'll just build a staircase. And we're just going to pop these balloons at the back. And we'll bust the staircase. And we'll just pop the rest of them. Okay. So from here, now we need to put these activated balloons, the large ones. We want one in the center. Then we're going to put one just here. And one here. Okay, and then we're going to get the small balloons. And we're going to put one right on the outside there, and then another one next to it. Do the same on the other side. And then up here by the chair, we're going to put one balloon kind of in the corner here. Like that. And then we want another balloon just behind it. Okay, so you should still be able to get in and out of this thing. And then what we're going to do is throw some chests on it. So if I just start with the grand chests, the best way to put them on is in this configuration. So if I put one there and one there, and then if I spin it around, you can tuck them up close to each other like that. And then again, we'll spin it around. And then again, and just tuck them in like that. Okay, and now this is pretty much it. So if we jump into this vehicle, we should be able to go forwards, turn left, turn right, and if we use channel 4, we should go up into the air. Okay, and if we go forwards, you can see that we're thrusting forwards. Now, we've got these thrusters underneath, a little bit hard to show because of the size of this vehicle, but as you can see, those thrusters underneath are going whenever we go forward. So we'll continue to get higher and higher into the sky. And that's ideally so that we can get on top of those ice shelves in the distance there. So this vehicle will fly up on top of those. And then if you want to, you can even just deactivate the balloons. And because we've got the thrusters underneath, we can still fly this thing around without the balloons. Obviously, if we stop propelling ourselves forward, we will start to drop. But it is a nice, slow, controlled descent as well, which is good for maintaining the integrity of the vehicle. Okay, so you can position it where you like. Landed on a piece of wood there, but anyway. Let's just throw some power cores into this thing. So if I go to codex and grab, let's just grab 4 power cores. Okay, we'll throw those into here. And then you'll see we'll be able to drive this thing around. Okay, now this thing is always, it's got sort of a wide turning circle, so you can use the thrusters to help you steer sharper, like that. Okay, you can just drive this thing all over the place. Alright, and then the other thing we can do is we can go on the water. So, oops. So if we drive down here onto the lake, you'll note that it'll just go straight into the water. And there you have it. Nice and smooth. And then we can just propel ourselves forward, and you can kind of just skip it across if you want it to sort of act like a boat. But now the thrusters on the bottom are optional. If you don't care about getting up onto the ice shelves, then you don't need to bother with any of the thrusters underneath. And if you don't put the thrusters on the bottom, when you are in the water, it'll pretty much just behave like a boat. It'll just propel itself forward without getting airborne like it is now. Okay, and then the other thing we can do is if we drive this thing at a bit of speed, you'll see it just smashes through materials. We should be able to get through this tree. Oops, not the solid ground, but we just went straight through that tree, no problems at all, no damage to the vehicle. So this is a good vehicle for just yeah, just driving around without really caring too much. Alright, and now another option with this vehicle as well is we can put a marker on it. So if we just put a map marker on like that, you'll now see on the map, it'll tell us where our vehicle is whenever we walk away from it, so we can always find our vehicle. And if I start moving, you'll see that it moves as well. And I am glitching out at the moment, but it's a good opportunity to see what the vehicle is like when it's flying. So you can see the back thrusters are going, those thrusters underneath are all going, the balloons are all up, and we are getting nice and airborne. If you do glitch out like this and you want to fix it, you can just get out of the seat and back in. I would suggest deactivating the balloons like that and then doing it. Then jump back in, just in case your character falls off the airship. At least then the airship will come down to the ground and you can just jump back in it once it's landed. Ideally do it where there's no trees and things like that though, because that may destroy things. But yeah, and that's pretty much it, guys. Nice and easy vehicle for people to build, just using one of the prefabs. Plenty of storage for items for looting from caves and camps and things like that. And nice and robust as well, so you won't break it too easily. Alright, let me know in the comments section what you think. Let me know if you like this build. And if you're interested in seeing more like this. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by.